Turkey meat has long been a tradition on our plates for special occasions. Now, turkey is a year-round main course. You may have wondered where these birds come from. The answer is from eggs produced on turkey breeder farms. Because it is such a small segment of the poultry industry, turkey breeders are not well known, although it is a critically important step in the production of turkey meat. Turkey breeders produce high-quality fertile eggs that will be sent to the hatchery. Juvenile turkeys, known as poults, which hatch in approximately 28 days from these eggs, will become commercial turkeys to be sold in retail markets. Only the best turkeys are used for breeding. Careful genetic selection at the top of this pyramid ensures commercial turkeys inherit traits for efficient growth and high breast muscle yield, resulting in high-quality meat. The genetics of these turkeys will affect thousands of commercial turkeys. Wild turkeys are a native species to North America, unlike their chicken counterparts, which originate from jungle fowl in Asia. After their discovery, they were later introduced to Europe. Turkey producers work hard to ensure their flocks remain healthy and productive. A biosecurity protocol aims to prevent diseases from entering their barns. Housing turkeys in close barns prevent their contact with wild birds, which can carry disease, and protects them from predators. If a producer has several barns with flocks of different ages, they will work in the barns in order from youngest to oldest. This way, younger flocks, which have less developed immune systems, will be less likely to be exposed to potential diseases. Before entering a turkey barn, clothing and footwear are changed along with stepping through a sanitizing boot dip. Visitors sign a logbook for the producer's records. Equipment is disinfected before entering barns. Turkey producers observe all-in, all-out management, which involves an entire flock arriving on one day and the entire flock leaving later in production. Turkey poults are also vaccinated to prevent disease. They are vaccinated, counted, sexed, and sometimes beak trimmed at the hatchery before being delivered to farms. Beak trimming removes the sharp point of the beak, which improves the welfare of flocks by reducing feather pecking. Turkeys are separated based on sex by a method called vent sexing, which involves examining the cloaca of day-old poults. Young poults are delivered to breeder farms from hatcheries and are placed in circular enclosures called brooding rings to prevent them from gathering in corners. With lots of space, feed, and water, the mortality of poults is kept at an acceptable level. Producers must be especially diligent during the first weeks of life or brooding phase to ensure the flock survives. In the first 5 days, poults can be susceptible to starvation and dehydration. To prevent this, producers provide extra feed and water. Because the poults grow rapidly, they quickly outgrow the brooding rings after 1 to 2 weeks. The rings are then removed and the poults are allowed to move freely throughout the barn. They stay in this barn until the second stage of production, which is the breeding phase. Male and female breeder poults may be raised separately or together depending on the management style of the producer. Unlike broiler breeders, which are mixed when they reach sexual maturity, the toms and hens will be kept separate during the breeding cycle. Efficient turkey reproduction requires considerable human intervention. How can you tell males and females apart in the barn? The physical appearance of males is much different than female. Males will have blue-tinted skin on their heads and will grow faster than females. They also have different calls. Only toms gobble, the females make clicking noises. Turkeys are provided with clean, fresh water through an automated system. Turkey breeders are typically fed 4 different diets over their lifetime through an automated feeding system. The first is a high-protein starter diet which has approximately 25% crude protein, and it's given to the poults immediately upon arrival at the farm. The second is a grower diet which has a protein content of 15% and adequate energy to promote rapid growth. From the ages of 12 to 30 weeks, the second grower diet or holding diet is fed. This diet has a crude protein content that is extremely low, about 12%. which acts to limit the growth to a steady rate that will allow birds to reach a target body weight just prior to photostimulation, which generally happens at 30 weeks of age. Slowing their natural growth rate improves the rate of egg laying later in life. The final diet, which is high in calcium, is fed when the hens start laying. Calcium is important for the proper formation of strong eggshells. Unlike broiler breeders, turkey hens are generally not feed restricted to limit growth. Although, toms may be given less feed so that their weight does not become unmanageable for semen collection. If toms eat as much as they want, they can reach up to 30 kilograms in weight or higher. Both the toms and hens are weighed regularly to ensure they reach the proper weight before they are photostimulated. Photostimulation is an increase in the number of hours of light. Turkeys are very sensitive to increasing light intensity. Increasing the day length around 30 weeks of age triggers developmental changes of puberty. Light traps are sometimes used on air inlets and exhaust fans to control the interior light environment by blocking any outside light. Just as increasing day length triggers sexual maturity, decreasing day length or day lengths that are too long can cause birds to stop laying. Hens are said to be photorefractory when they stop laying due to these reasons. The condition of photorefractoriness can be managed by raising poults on extremely short days before photostimulation, and by continually lengthening the days during the lay period. Controlled lighting is one of the most effective tools producers have to influence the reproductive process in both males and females. Once they are photostimulated, breeder turkeys are kept on a strict lighting schedule to ensure optimal egg production. Turkeys absorb light through their skull, which stimulates photoreceptors in the brain. Light in the tom barn must also be carefully controlled to ensure maximum semen production. Too much light intensity can cause problems with male aggression. Are you wondering why toms and hens never share the same barn? Due to increasing breast muscle size, turkeys can no longer effectively mate naturally. Therefore, semen must be collected and the hens must be artificially inseminated to obtain fertile eggs. Artificial insemination has the added benefit of disease control because semen can be transferred between barns instead of birds. Only the best toms should be used for breeding, including those with good, strong legs and feet, and quality semen production. A qualified artificial insemination technician has the job of collecting semen into a syringe by aspiration. Collection is generally done early in the morning to prevent fecal contamination, since the lights are turned off at night and the toms have not eaten anything. Usually, semen is collected from each male once or twice per week. This process is typically done with two people. One holds the tom and the aspirator, the other stimulates the tom. The back, cloaca, and tailhead are manipulated by a series of movements to stimulate ejaculation. After stimulating the male, the bird's phallus will protrude from the vent area. The technician gently squeezes the phallus, and semen then pools on the phallic region, which is then aspirated into the syringe. Extender, which is rich in nutrients, is added to the semen to ensure that sperm remain viable for a longer period of time. Extender also dilutes the sperm, allowing the insemination of more hens. Only high-quality semen that is thick and white is used to inseminate. Semen that is watery or off-color should not be used. Turkey semen is highly concentrated, with approximately 8 billion sperm cells per milliliter. Semen is placed in straws, which hold 1 dose of semen for artificial insemination. A tom will typically produce approximately 1/2 a milliliter of semen per collection, which is enough to inseminate 10 hens. To get the semen inside the hen, one person everts the hen's oviduct outside of her body. A person applies slight pressure to the hen's abdomen and gently pushes on the vent area, which presents the oviduct. Hens will perform a post-coital fluff following the insemination procedure. It is thought that this behavior helps the semen move toward the ovary within the female's reproductive tract. Hens are initially inseminated approximately 2 weeks after photostimulation and each week thereafter because sperm can be stored in an oviduct between inseminations. Hens lay eggs for 26 weeks with peak production at around 37 to 40 weeks of age. turkeys lay from 90 to 110 eggs per year, while broiler breeders lay 150 to 170. The turkey egg is quite similar to a chicken egg, only larger. The optimal size of a turkey hatching egg is between 80 and 100 grams. A frequent problem in turkey breeding is that hens become broody. Broodiness is a natural instinct in birds where they want to sit on their eggs and incubate the growing embryo. Broody hens will aggressively defend their nests, stop laying eggs, eat less, and move stiffly. Hens develop a brood patch, which is an area of the hen's chest that loses its feathers. It is thought to better transmit the hen's body heat to the egg for proper incubation. Broodiness is associated with elevated levels of hormone called prolactin. In a barn with many broody hens, there is competition for nests since most hens want to sit on eggs. The incidence of broodiness can be worsened by hot weather, poor lighting, infrequent egg gathering, and floor layers. The competition for nests can also lead to an increase in the number of eggs that are laid on the floor. Floor eggs are undesirable because they are dirty and can lead to problems associated with contamination during incubation. Not to mention, they are much harder to collect. Once hens begin to lay eggs on the floor, it is very difficult to change this habit. Management and prevention of broody behavior is essential because broody hens have dramatically decreased egg production and can trigger this behavior in other hens. Broody hens are identified and moved to different pens because the change in environment can decrease broody tendencies. Carefully controlled photo periods, including increasing days to 17 hours of light, can reduce the occurrence of broodiness in hens. Eggs are collected by hand and the hen is encouraged to leave the nest at this time. In the egg collection room, eggs are placed into flats with the large end up so that the egg will store the best and the embryo can develop properly. Eggs are stored in coolers between 16 and 18 degrees Celsius on a farm until they are shipped to the hatchery. Cooling halts embryonic development within the egg. Eggs can be stored for a week with no adverse effect on hatchability. Poults that hatch out of these eggs will become commercial turkeys that will be raised for the meat market and end up on the table in your turkey sandwich or your next special occasion. Commercial turkey producers practice the same biosecurity procedures as turkey breeder producers. These measures include proper sanitation of the barn, accurate record keeping, and appropriate signage to discourage outside visitors. This commitment to flock health is important in ensuring that only meat of the highest quality is consistently produced. Poults are transported from the hatchery in environmentally controlled trucks and arrive at the farm within 24 hours of when they were hatched. The barn is warmed well ahead of when the poults arrive so the bedding is warm. Turkey poults are vulnerable and require extra attention to prevent stress which can hinder their growth. Poults are kept close to feed, water, and brooder stoves, which provide supplemental heat. Heat and ventilation are constantly monitored by high-tech computer systems to ensure the turkeys are comfortable. Air is circulated so that birds have a clean air supply. In the winter, air must be heated before it enters the barn. The barn is kept very warm until their down is replaced by feathers. Producers will have alarms set up for instances when conditions change. Water is usually delivered through bell-type water fonts. Adequate nutrition is essential to commercial turkey production. Throughout their life, turkeys are given various types of feed, called rations, to make sure they are getting the nutrients they need for different stages of growth. Feed is provided by automatic feeders, which are refilled when feed levels become low. The birds are encouraged to eat as much as they want to promote rapid growth. Feed is high in protein to accommodate high rates of breast muscle growth. Turkeys are not fed hormones, they rely on their own. Their rapid growth is due to proper nutrition, genetic selection, and management. Like all other birds, turkeys are sensitive to the changes in day length. As commercial turkeys grow, day length is reduced. For the first few days, post-hatch poults are supplied with 24 hours of light, which allows the birds to find food and water. At 3 days old, they are given approximately 20 hours of light, whereas at 15 weeks of age, they have 16 hours of light. Light intensity is also reduced as the birds grow to minimize their energy expenditure on activity. There are different sizes of turkeys available in the grocery stores, depending on what age they are sent to the market. For example, broiler turkeys weigh about 6 kilograms when sent to market. Hens, which are typically smaller birds, weigh 8 kilograms, and toms, which are larger, weigh 13 kilograms when sent to market. Turkeys, like broilers, are taken to market in specially equipped trucks to maintain the comfort of the birds. Good management practices at the farm level ensure that only the highest quality turkey meat is supplied to grocery stores.